Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver and welcome back to World of Horror. And today we got a request for either Gun Haru or Early Ammo Stash Moriko. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a lot of time tonight, so we're gonna go with Ammo Stash Moriko because, let's be real, that's probably the more secure of the two runs. We'll try to do Gun Haru another time. We've done it before, I believe, but, like, I don't remember what episode it was, and we're coming up on episode 300, so I wouldn't be, like, I'm not gonna begrudge you. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure we died early on, so, like, there's not really a reason to go seeking that episode out, but, regardless, we're gonna do a little Ammo Stash Moriko. We could do Ill-Fated to try to get Ammo Stash as our first perk, and so I think that's what we'll... But I also, like, I kind of want to win the run because I don't have a lot of time tonight, so we'll not try to, like, brute force it super hard, but we'll do a little brute forcing as a treat. We'll do Kathakatasaru because I feel like that with a guarantee, like, if you prep a shoot, that's a guaranteed 15 damage, right? I feel like if you're doing that, then it's probably gonna shine the best when you have to fight everything, if that makes sense. Assuming that we don't get ghost enemies, of course. So we're gonna try to shoot this as much as possible. So I looked up exact percentage numbers for the attack speed perks and the attack reduction from Ringing Ears. So I'm probably gonna bring up a calculator just for on the fly to make sure that I understand the math guide correctly. Because, like, I'm still a little bit confused. Like, yeah, 270 hours in, I'm confused. But I'm a little bit confused on what the difference is between a combat action and an offensive action. Because, like, there's an offensive action category when you're in combat, but there's not a combat category, if that makes sense. And so I don't know if combat is like a blanket everything, or if it's like something else, you know? For reference, I think it's Aiko, who Fast Swimmer is offensive actions, and Miku's Adrenaline is combat actions. So with that being said, I do need to be able to see the, can I make this calculator a little bit smaller? There we go, perfect. So, Ringing Ears is a 1.2 modifier, and Deft Handling is a 20% attack speed increase. Now, from how I understand it, the scaling... I'd have to read the math guide again, but I'm pretty sure the multiplier is applied first. Or, sorry, scaling is applied first, which is like what you have with your weapon stat, so... You know, we have, 6 perception. So, sorry, I'm a little no thoughts, head empty right now. But, you know, that would be, presumably, if I understand the math guide correctly, that would be a minus 18 on the shotgun, so it would be quite simply 67, if I understand it correctly. Which, listen, at this point, I probably should understand it correctly, but, like, I'm the kind of gamer that I just like to... I just kind of like to play the game until I have a basic understanding. if you will. And then I like to tackle the technical stuff after that point. So my mind might be a little bit no thoughts, head empty for a bit. So Fear Festival is interesting. I was doing a little bit of game theory earlier, where I was thinking about, because Fame is, for every ally, it's a 4% attack speed increase. And so, I mean, we can get into it some other day, but essentially, Fear Festival, in the best case scenario, gives you plus 20% attack speed with Fame, which is pretty ridiculous. That's better. I mean, that's on par with it's deft handling, but for every weapon type, which is ridiculous. But what's even more interesting is that if you're playing Mizuki, particularly, you're guaranteed to get 3 allies, which is 12%. So if you get Fear Festival with that, then that's 32% attack speed, which, that's pretty frightening. But we're going to be doing probably Bulletin first? I'm not entirely sure. But let's see. So, we really only have one Roads Closed mystery, a real one, which is Fear Festival. But we don't want to do Fear Festival first, because we want to have the compass at that point. When your character starts with a weapon, you just gotta buy the compass, and then you basically just gotta win the game at that point. So we're on Timeline B, so, you know, Ramen and Sailors will present a unique challenge. But what we could particularly do is we could go with mermaids. We'll go with mermaids first. And the reason why we'll do this is because we're going to try to use Moriko's gun as much as possible.
Oh, sorry. Suddenly, somewhere, Emmerdale seems to have disappeared. We'll go back to it as soon as we can, once we've found it.
We're gonna have to... That's unfortunate. Branded sucks. But we're gonna try to use Moriko's gat as much as possible, as it were. Moriko's super shotgun. And so we're going to be trying to... Don't do me like this. Thank you very much. We're going to be trying to... Like... We're gonna shoot the Mad Janitor twice, and then we're gonna get the Fire Axe, and then that's what we're gonna do. Do I want to do the Seaside twice? I feel like if we want to get the most value out of a potential ammo stash, then we probably would want to do the Seaside twice. But it kind of sucks, though, because you're, like, going from -1/-1 because of the Morbid School, and then you're going to... whatchamacallit. So, hold on. Can we just do this? So this is 4 actions... There we go. So, theoretically speaking, and by theoretically speaking, I mean he's dead. We can... So, that's actually a pretty good enemy to shoot, but it's very early on in the mystery, and we could take him out pretty easily that I didn't want to particularly do it. So the Mad Janitor, he should have around 34 health? So as long as we can survive 2 turns, this is reason we fail? Yeah. As long as we can survive about 2 turns, then we'll be fine. I want to get thrown out. What's thrown out? It's this one? Oh, yo, we actually did it. We found the kindly old grandmother. So what do we want to do? Do we want to get plus 15 EXP here? I mean, we're gonna get, what, like 25 EXP from the Mad Janitor. Gonna get 30 from leveling up. I mean, it'll be close. I mean, we'll definitely get it if we investigate it twice. But the problem is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. I feel like it could be. Just to get, like, if we're gonna take a perk that we're not normally used to, then we should probably, like, want to have enough EXP that we can get deft handling as soon as possible. But another interesting thing is that you go here twice, you're gonna rack up a little bit more doom. What if you have to reroll for the perk? So I think that if you're just kind of playing Moriko and going with the flow, you investigate this twice. But if you're trying to specifically, like, brute force what we're trying to do, then you have to keep in mind that you don't want to raise your doom artificially too much, because, especially when you have branded. This would be awesome. You love to see it. I mean, basically, that's pretty much the entire thing that you love to see. So, we're gonna basically abuse... Yeah, 34 health, I was right. We're basically gonna abuse the fact that we can just shoot. So there's no way, like, there's no way in heck that I want to do that. 70-70? Absolutely not. So what we should do is we should brace for impact, because we're going to eat it. Oh, no. We shouldn't brace for impact now, because he has, like, a special attack that we want to be able to block later. But what's the 4-1? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not very good. So basically, because he has that special attack where he'll do, like, 5 randomly, we need to start shooting him as soon as possible. If we could nail that, that would be super lucky, but, you know, it's not... I mean, that's super lucky, but it's not necessary for us to win there. That was just, we win a turn earlier, and Fear Festival, that probably gets us an ally in Fear Festival that we would not otherwise get. So, unfortunately, we did not level up immediately, but that's fine. We will level up in Fear Festival. So, what that basically means is... it potentially got us an ally, because we never know if we're gonna get a, we don't need it, but I'm gonna take EXP here. But listen, if we get a stamina thing, then it probably gets us an ally. Speaking of which, was that the second enemy? I'm pretty sure it was, right? Yeah, Mad Janitor was the second enemy of all things, because the first one was Time Warper. That's crazy. But, I think that that's one of the things that makes Moriko strong, is you just, at the beginning of the game, you have that 30 health pool of, like, I can deal with you. But anyways, we are going to, well, there's no reason not to do this, because it's literally free, but, okay. So, in this situation, I would either take Outdoorsman or Daddy's Girl, but obviously we're a man on a mission. So we're gonna have to pass up some good stuff here. There it is. So, 1 to 2 bullets at the end of each mystery. So, worst case scenario, 4 bullets. But that should be fine. So we have the Charisma, Knowledge, and Dexterity checks at the Lighthouse. I think those are pretty... That can be pretty difficult to do. But with... well, actually... We're in luck. We actually are in luck. So let's see if we can get some allies here. Look for some friends. It's a little bit sketchy because of what we've done, but, like, we've done games where we've gone to 34% Doom just getting the compass on Mystery 1, so I'm not too particularly, like, torn up about that. Now, if it's like, hey, can you keep giving me this? Like, that's probably a no. I think Asato is definitely worth it here. 2 spells for 3 stamina. I think you can make that case. I definitely think you can make that case. Now, if we get Outdoorsman, like, we're in trouble. I mean, this is the best opportunity that we have here. Worst comes to worst, we can let Asato go. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, dog. Do we want to try to do it again? Or do we want to use this as sort of like a recovery floor? This is day 2, night. I think we'll have one more opportunity. I think we'll have another opportunity to do that. It should be fine. I mean, yeah. Listen, I like me and Iwa. I like me and Iwa, alright? You can't really say no to that. The problem with revealing yourself is, like, yeah, if you make the stat check, it's amazing, because you get a flashlight, but you take -2 stamina and you get badly... What is it? Badly bruised? Hey, no, Hasty Aid. I always get those two confused for some reason. But you get Hasty Aid, and Hasty Aid can... It's terrible. Like, it's awful. I mean, we'll take it. But... mainly because we should have the funds to get it fixed, but it really is awful. So our last action here, you know, we're gonna heal up. Because, I mean, we would love a flashlight. Like, we are behind on perception, and we're about to be a lot more behind on perception if we take that hoodie. But, like, listen, you know, we got a good run going so far. We were pretty lucky. Kinoko Gatherer. What are we gonna do here? So thankfully, you know, we got super lucky with Ryoko, so it's like, you know, we're not particularly worried about our damage output, but we would like to be attacking 3 times instead of, we would like to be attacking 3 times instead of 2. Although, of course, due to our low stat pool right here, maybe what we want to do is just send them? Question mark? I think this is where... That's a bummer. Yeah, that's a bummer right there. I think that this is potentially where... Let's see, we take him down to 13. Can we, we can't send him at 13, so we need to take another risk. Because, like, we take him down to 13, and it's like, we don't really... Oh, no! Oh, I can't believe you've done this. That actually just barely gets us out of it. I feel like, do we throw something here? Like, well, this is a nasty position to be in. Like, this is a good situation to use the gun, but we don't have any ammo. So another thing that we can do is let Asato go. Oh no. Wait, we can't let Asato... Wait, you can't let go during a fight? That's very strange. That is very weird. So, let's see. I mean, we take him down to 13, nothing really happens, because we're not in desperation range. I think we have to throw the bottle, regardless. Because we'll take him down to 13, we'll throw the bottle, and then kill him. Preferably. And that's something that, admittedly, we couldn't do without Ryoko, so that's important to keep in mind. Because we'd be doing 8 damage instead of 10, which he has 9 health, so that would make that a little bit more awkward. We're a little bit concerned about Doom. Now, what do we want to do here? Do we want to take 5% Doom, or whatever we can get away with here? It's pretty concerning. But, again, I think that we're relatively fine. But I'm not entirely sure. So, we can... Ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, that's not good. So, we can take... So, it's rounded down in our favor. So, it's 6%, and we get it. I mean, 6% versus 5%? Do you get EXP? Do you get experience points for this? It seems like something I should know, but I think that it's worth it for the sole reason of, like... I mean, it's either 6% Doom or 5% Doom, right? So, like, you know. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, yeah, you don't get EXP for it. You just get the Spiral Hood, which, I mean, hey, like, Spiral Hood's very good, so it's like, you're relatively fine with it. But this is definitely a strange one, for sure. I wish we could have kept the empty bottle, but alas, dear Yorick, it was not meant to be. There is no second mystery, so I don't really have to care about that. So we got 1 bullet. Do we want to use that to kill one of these bosses? Like, I'm starting to think with bullets. Because right now, like, here's the problem with this. I wish we didn't, like... I don't want to let Ryoko go, because I'd like to win the run, but... I feel like without Ryoko, we'd be having a very hard time here. Because our perception is way lower than it normally would have been. We passed up deft handling. We passed up art knowledge when we could have taken double perception to get to 8. You know, it's like I genuinely think that, like, if it was not for Ryoko, we'd be having a really bad time right now. Especially with that the Kinoko Gatherer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, this isn't, I thought this was arms for some reason. I'm dumb. We'll just do this, because it's, like, easy. But yeah, no, I feel like this is 2 funds. How do we get 2 funds? We get cursed. That's how we get 2 funds. Alright, so no knowledge threshold at the lighthouse happening. I can tell you that right now. That is definitely not hasty aid again. The ride never ends, and I want off of Mr. Bones' wild ride. Like, you really do hate to see that. It's 2, so it's 3, never mind. I saw the threat level was lower, so I'm like, oh, it'll probably be fine. Spoiler alert, it wasn't fine. But, you know, it will probably be okay. Like, I'm considering selling something. Or going to the police station, but I want to level up. I feel like we need to level up as quickly as possible. Because, yeah, the gun will buy us a combat, if it absolutely has to. But I feel like that we would just rather level up before we get into combat anyways. But I mean, hey, you know, this is a compelling argument as any. I won't hesitate. Oh no, this is a shame. We cannot take peace of mind, we can't take fondest memory. Well, theoretically we could. If Asato was good to us, then theoretically, but no, I'm not gonna do that. So, roads closed. That's fine, relatively speaking. We leveled up, you love to see it. So now you take deft handling, and you take dexterity. Now you put yourself at 6 dexterity. Why do you do that? Because we have the hoodie. That's why you do that, because we'll go up to 8 dex for the lighthouse. That's what's important. The reason why we're not wearing it now is because the compass is providing us a lot of value currently, and also, what is normally not... Like, this -2 perception literally just exists to screw over Moriko. Like, I think that's why it's there. Is because what's one of Moriko's weaknesses? Average strength, low dex. This covers that weakness perfectly. And so this -2 perception is literally just here for Moriko. It means almost nothing on every other character. Unless you're insane enough to run Army Knife Koiji, which is... I don't know why you'd do that. Like, do you not have the heavy-duty flashlight unlocked? At that point. I mean, it's a decent... I mean, 4 funds, though, man. No. Can't do that. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna take reason here. So currently, we're at -3 for the lighthouse, okay? And I don't know. Like, unless we get leadership and charisma, like, I'm not entirely sure we should go, like, all the way here. And also... Hold on a minute. So it's Bulletin. So Bulletin is a little bit annoying. Yeah? Bulletin's a little bit annoying. Because we do have to go to the forest twice. Which we'll just get out of the way now. Hopefully Brandon doesn't decide to meme on us as well. This is a perception check, but our perception is awful. So we're just going to ignore the crime scene. I would rather not get involved when the punishment is pain and suffering. So this is pretty bad right here. Because this is something that we would like to ignore, and we will ignore it for as long as we can. But if it procs and we get -1 dex, -1 perception, we're not happy with that. Oh goody. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say no to this. This makes the lighthouse a lot more reasonable. But it doesn't, actually, because it's a slot C. And so we could only pick one. Which I guess the option is nice. Do you want to take -6 stamina, or do you want to take -3? If you gotta make that choice, you gotta make that choice. It's nice to have options. We got 8 strength, we got this. Unfortunate. Goddamn, computers are heavy, you can say that again, brother. We would rather back out here. I honestly feel like I should have done the town history here. I really should have, but that's horrible. That's awful, actually. That's really bad. I don't like that at all. We're gonna go ahead and take this rock ring, and we're gonna sell it. So that in case we get to a situation where we're not so happy with our monetary levels, we are... Oh boy. We're not having a good time here. Not at all. I feel like... I mean, a luck check here would be really nice, but, like, no, we can't do that. So I think it's time for Asato to get out of here. Absorb and invisibility, huh? Both of those are quite awful. But, you know, if we gotta forget one, we gotta forget one. 8 strength, pretty reliable. And by that, I mean not reliable at all, but we're gonna take the risk. You wanna spend 3 funds on a freaking... You wanna spend 3 funds on a freaking... Oh, crap, we have to go get the infected bite taken care of. You know what? I will do this, though. Because it's 1 for the infected bite, right? I'm about to look like a big old fool. If it's not. And I mean, I hate this. Like, don't get me wrong, I hate that. It's 2 funds! Don't worry about that. Okay, you know what I said about options? I was definitely correct that options are a good thing. Modern medicine can't help you there, unfortunately. Blood loss, that's just minus stamina, right? Okay, that doesn't really matter. Now, of course, like, this is scary. Let Park Ranger talk to the man. Third eye. Fascinating. Okay, let's go. Do you like it? Yes, of course we like it. And then we gotta remember the note. This is the voice of humanity that is being discussed, that is being talked about. And then, of course, we like it because we don't want to literally die, because we're not getting out of there safely. Contaminated water, at this point, I'm not surprised. Now, what would we like here? We want healing. We definitely want healing. Are we going to level up again? Probably. And so, yeah, if we take 2 points of charisma here, then that gets us up to 7. Then the nice ring will carry us across the threshold if we need to. You know, like... I don't know how relevant it would be. You know, I genuinely don't know how relevant it is. I feel like we're better just going for... I mean, if we level up again, and we get charisma, then we're up to 7 anyways, right? So I feel like that if we need to flex into it, we can flex into it. And normally I wouldn't do this. No deft handling, 6 perception, it's pretty scary. However, with both Ryoko and 2 bullets, I'm a little bit more confident than I otherwise normally would be. So with that being said, we're gonna have some fun here. Oh yeah, it's gamer time. So we're a little sketched out here. Like, this is not gonna be great. And the worst thing is that we kind of need to play this very carefully. Because, well, I mean, this is a bad situation to be in, just in general. So I wonder, 90% chance to hit, huh? So that's, you know, that's a cool... She's down to 9 health, is that it? Wait, does that actually get us there? Like, legit? Yeah, cool. I'm fine with that. So here's the thing, we have to play this very carefully, because we don't really have the resources to mess around here. Like, we need to go to the monument as much as possible. Well, not necessarily as much as possible, but you know what I mean. Yo, let's go. Joseph Ferris handing us a free copy of the hit game It Takes Two, available on Steam. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Like, I mean, we gotta take the... That sucks, dude. That sucks. I mean, this is minus reason, right? Oh, plus 2 Doom. Plus 2 Doom. Okay, that's fine. That's actually potentially fine if we can make up for it later. So here's the thing. Seeping Apostle is gonna have like 35 health, minus 2 to all. We ain't killing them, so we gotta discard 2 items. The problem is, though, we gotta go to the monument as well. And so, I think we gotta discard the shotgun. Like, we gotta discard the shotgun and the fire axe, and then just hope that the... I don't want to do that, though. Like, what can we discard, though? Like, here's the thing. We go to the monument. Do we even need to go to the monument? Yes, I think we do. With branded, you can't rely on a 90% doom thing. So, if it asks us for funds, we're in really big trouble. If it asks us for health, we can pay that price. Okay, how do I feel about 85% doom? I feel a little bit more confident about 85% doom. Because I feel like we discard the... In this situation, what we would do is we'd discard the nice ring and the fire axe. And then put the hoodie on. Like, we should just be wearing the hoodie right now anyways. So that we take -3. Yeah, we need to be careful here. We need to be really careful here. We'll go. If it's reason, we take it. If it's not reason, we leave. I think that's fair. Because I think we need to discard this. And then we need to discard the fire axe. Yeah? I think that's probably fair. Because we have Takahashi in there. We have Takahashi in there. We have to be very careful with that. So we got the torch. We just threw the fire axe in the dumpster. If this is reason, we're happy. We're really happy if that's reason. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see that. You absolutely love to see that. Now this is... no. So now we just have to hope that we live past this screen. And then... Oh, but hold on, hold on. I'm a little bit concerned here. Do we have to rest? Because we're getting tireless. We're going up to 3-4. And then we... I think we have to rest, because we go... Do we have, we're not on Goizo. Do we have fetid fumes? We do. So we go up to 3-4... No. We just rest at the lighthouse, I think. Like, if we die here, we die here. It would be really unfortunate. Oh, you love to see that. You love to see that. Okay. So throw the torch, great, absolutely fantastic. We rest once in the lighthouse, and then we're looking pretty confident. Because, I mean, obviously we can't do this, but... So we are taking... Let's just do a quick little review that isn't my notes, because I could always write the wrong thing, you know. Charisma, -3 reason. Takahashi. So we're in desperation range. Knowledge, -3 stamina. Unfortunate. Dexterity, we're good. Second enemy, Mad Janitor of all things. So, with that being said, what we want to do here is we want to just rest once. We just want to rest once. Because we'll get taken... Because knowledge will kill us. Knowledge will kill us if we don't rest once. So rest a bit, 84%. I like those odds. I like those odds. So we're in desperation range, and there's no light source, by the way, so we can throw the torch if that's not gonna do it. But I think we know something that will do it. So actually, do I want to even risk this? But I mean, what's the alternative? What's the alternative, right? We can do... This will do 9 damage. So, I mean, 18 is not good enough. But hold on. We could do 15 damage plus blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not good enough. So, I mean, do you just want to... I mean, we throw the torch. We still need the spiral hood, so we can't throw that. Because this is 13. So if we desperation, that's 13, and then... Wait, does that get us there? Because that's... So it's 5, technically, but... I mean, yeah, like, I'm just kind of thinking about it, and I think this is probably the reason why I don't like to rely on the firing action, is because look at it this way, right? We have a 100% chance to win the game. Okay? Like, this is a 100% chance we win the game. But then we have this, where it's like, it's a 95% chance twice. And if we miss once, then the game gets a lot sketchier. Right? And so I think that, like, yeah, we are in this situation exclusively because of Ryoko, but I feel like that, I mean, here's the thing, right? This is a perception. Okay, so here's the thing. There are a few things, there are a few modifiers here that are making the gun seem worse than it actually is, alright? We have 4 perception from the spiral hood. So that is affecting this. If we did not have this spiral hood, then presumably these would be at 97, 97, right? And that still wouldn't be enough to buff them. But, so there is that. However, another thing is that, well, I mean, here's the thing, right? You spend 100 EXP to get ammo stash, and you have to be level 5 for it to have a 100% hit chance against Takahashi-san. Or Takashi-san, right? And so I'm just thinking to myself, like, it just, maybe there's something that I'm missing about guns. Like, admittedly, I don't use them very often. Perception is probably my least used stat for weapons. But it just seems to me, if we had, like, you know, like, I mean, even with 4 perception and no deft handling, we still have a 100% chance to win the game, right? Like, this gets us there. I was just sitting, like, I was sitting in silence because I was trying to think of what to say. And I feel like it kind of comes across as the same thing as, like, Parting Gift, where it's workable and it's fun, but you come into a situation like this, and here's the thing, if he hits us once, it's not a big deal, we'll probably still win. Like, we'd have to mess up the second enemy check and get unlucky with Branded. But I think that it's a good example of, like, even with 4 perception, attacking with the gun itself, like, anything is a melee weapon if you're brave enough. Attacking with the weapon itself is still better than shooting twice. And I feel like that we have, like, everything going against the gun right now. We don't have, like, we have deft handling. Sorry, I said earlier we didn't have deft handling. I was wrong. We do have deft handling, which is the only reason why we can pull this off alongside of Ryoko. So I want to make that perfectly clear. If you already commented and then you hit resume, you're like, Web, how could you do this to me? It's 5 in the morning. You're gonna have to cut me a little slack, alright? But, like, admittedly, this is only happening because we have deft handling and Ryoko. But I can't help but just think, like, the run would have been, like, it's really weird because this run wasn't, like, super combat heavy. Like, I think we've had runs which have more combat in them. But I feel like that this is the ideal run, where, like, every time you go into a mystery, you have ammo to shoot the enemies. You know what I'm saying? Or when you save the ammo for a boss, and then you have to, like, fight through with just using the gun as a melee weapon. And I just can't help but think, like, I would be happier with, like, 8 perception going down to 6 with the spiral hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the resources that we put in, like, 100 EXP is a lot. And so, when you're doing something like Parting Gift, I think it's a little bit more forgiving because you're getting stats out of it, which is a part of the 100 EXP. But when you're doing something like Ammo Stash, the longer... I guess it's a... I guess how a good way to look at it is that in the early game, when you're lower level, the ammo stash is probably a lot more helpful. Like, because it did allow us to kill the janitor early, and that did come in handy at the end of the run with discarding the fire axe. That was important. But I don't know. I feel like that the resources that we put in to make it happen, you would probably be more... It would probably serve you to put those resources into something else, like a deft handling, or an art knowledge plus perception, or a deft handling plus healing, or a deft handling plus perception, or a daddy's girl, right? Like, daddy's girl is a fantastic sustain perk. It's really good. And, you know, we just kind of had to ignore it. And that kind of got us in trouble at the end, because we were having stamina issues. So I feel like that it's... Ammo stash is not a bad perk, okay? But I just feel like when you're competing with a great sustain perk and a perk that is better, deft handling 20%, versus the 15% from Fast Swimmer and Adrenaline, and the guaranteed, quote-unquote, you do have to spend Doom to get it, but the guaranteed 12% from Fame, right? It's just like, when you have the best attack speed perk in the game, for guns anyways, it only works on guns. When you have the best attack speed perk in the game, and exclusively in the context of using a gun weapon, I want to make that clear, it is far from the best. You know, Fame has a lot more potential and all that, and technically Aiko already has a modifier that's making her attacks naturally faster, so that means that Fast Swimmer is better on Aiko than it would be. Like, a Fast Swimmer and Aiko's modifier, along with her insanely high stats, is probably better than Moriko's mediocre stat sheet with one of the best attack speed perks in the game. But what I'm saying is, in the vacuum of this, right, if you're looking at Daddy's Girl, deft handling, and ammo stash is clearly the worst one, because deft handling and leveling perception will give you an absolutely insane damage buff, and you will be able to fight most enemies in the game with ease. And Daddy's Girl will help you regenerate health when you're fighting something that is a little bit more difficult or RNG isn't on your side. And the reason, like, the reason why I'm saying that ammo stash maybe is not as good is because when you're in this... Wait, do we have a... We have the dexterity check, and that's it. That's the last one. So, when you have... I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit, but you start the game with 2 bullets, right? That's 30 damage in your back pocket. You don't need that most of the time. Like, that 30 guaranteed damage gets you through the early game if you absolutely need it. It compensates for your low starting stats. And so, if you get ammo stash early, well, why wouldn't you just, like, get deft handling and level perception to the point where you can fight every enemy easily? And so, how I view the early game of Moriko is a stopgap, basically. Like, you have these 2 bullets, which are kind of like get-out-of-jail-free cards, and then when you level up and you get deft handling, then that's when you start popping off. Like, you can just, like, wield that super shotgun like the melee weapon it was always meant to be, and just start beating people over the head with it, if that makes sense. But, yeah, no, like, I think that it's interesting. It's interesting. I feel like that... Oh, wait, was it Time Warper? It doesn't matter. It was definitely Mad Janitor, but I was like, I had a little doubt in the back of my mind there. But no, like, I guess what I think I put it out. I think I was pretty concise in what I was saying there. It's like the accuracy on the gun, like the shooting action, is always going to be a problem. Nice, by the way, 4440. But it's a 444. 4. But yeah, I feel like the shooting action is always going to have a chance of missing, pretty much. Like, unless you're really high level. And I feel like that it's probably just better to get to the point where Moriko is strong enough to fight on her own without the bullets, because that's a much more sustainable and even consistent thing. Because I feel like that for this run in particular, we had a lot of things going for us that allowed Ammo Stash to truly shine, I guess you could say. Because we got Ryoko to help compensate for our low DPS with the melee attacks, and we got, I want to say we got less enemy encounters than we normally did. And so it kind of helped it to where it was like, when we got into a fight with an enemy that was a problem, we could pop them with a, just a shot or two, and then we could just leave the mystery. We wouldn't have to worry about ringing ears, and then Ammo Stash would proc. But if you're going with like a deft handling perception build, you can kind of achieve the same things, if that makes sense. But I feel like that deft handling is a more consistent thing, and it's probably a little bit more reliable. Because you don't have to worry about, like, am I going to get one shot? Am I going to get two shots? And I feel like when you get Ammo Stash early, it's sort of opening up that window of, like, you're vulnerable for just a little bit longer. Like, if you're in a combat-heavy mystery, or you don't get Ryoko, or you don't get some sort of damage bonus right off the bat, right? And you're fighting an enemy who's got, like, 25 plus health, and you've already shot your gun, you got ringing ears, it's gonna be bad. And so I think that it's definitely, like, here's the thing, it's definitely good, right? Like, it's a good perk, and the fact that you can have 15 to 30 damage at the end of every mystery, that's really good. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you come up against, like, a Time Warper, or, a hole-ridden thing. I'm trying to think of, like, really annoying enemies. Apartment Stalker or something. Like, a tanky enemy that does quite a bit of damage, right? You come across one of them, or you come across a boss early, right? You can use those 2 bullets to just kind of get through that stage. It's like you got those 2 shots, you can get through it. And I feel like that if you, but it's all just like, it's very specific. Or it's not very specific, it's just generally specific. When in a game about RNG, where there's barely anything that you can predict, I feel like it's better to go for the generalist approach, because yeah, there are some enemies where a deft handling 8 perception might be a little bit more annoying. Like a Time Warper, for instance, right? Like, your attack speed is not going to help you there. You know what I'm saying? And in that situation, having extra ammo on hand is nice. However, I feel like you're not going to run into Time Warper every run. You're not going to run into enemies that are really annoying for a deft handling build to handle every run. And so, if you could take a build that covers, like, I don't know, just a shot in the dark, like, say, like, 75% of all situations, are you gonna, like, I guess the point that here's the thing. I realize that I'm talking about something that's not a realistic circumstance, because the purpose of this video was to find out if Ammo Stash is a perk worth taking if you get it early. And the answer to that is a resounding yes. Like, if you get, like, a stat increase perk, it's the same thing with Parting Gift, right? If you get a stat increase perk that you are not going to be using for the blue option. You're literally just taking it because you want to have, like, slightly easier stat checks, and that's the only reason you're taking, like, a quick thinking or an outdoorsman or whatever, then an ammo stash is objectively better. Because it gives you that sort of, like, get out of jail free card against certain enemies, and it could help you. Like, I would be really interested to potentially see, like, an extra ammo first level going into, like, a boss bonanza, right? Like Sailors, Pervert, Akamanto, Vigil, School... well, it can't be School Scissors, because that's not a boss fight on B, but, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, just an absolute bonanza of, like, just a boss rush, if you know what I mean. I feel like that potentially, and actually I'm not even gonna say potentially, like, it's just 30 damage, you know? If you do, you could do Akamanto early with ammo stash, if you have enough health for it, but I don't know, I just feel like, obviously it's useful, and I'd say it's probably more useful than Parting Gift, but it's something that you have to kind of, like, take with caution. It's like, would I recommend you taking ammo stash over every other perk? Not normally, right? Like, I feel like you could get more value out of other things. Like, if you get a stable Moriko run, which is very easy to do because Moriko is a ridiculously powerful character, if you get a stable Moriko run, you don't really need a win harder button unless you're just flexing at that point, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I want to make it perfectly clear. Like, ammo stash is a fine perk. But I feel like that you're probably just better served going after a stable, like, 8 perception deft handling. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I'm gonna have to call it here. Like I said, I didn't really have much time tonight. I have basically about an hour, and we're running up on that, so... unfortunately, I have things to do that aren't sleep, so I'm gonna go take care of that real quick, while this video is rendering and uploading. So, I'll talk to you all later. I hope that this was a fun video, and I hope you appreciated my perspective on ammo stash. If there's something that I missed, or you think I'm wrong, I welcome a civil disagreement in the comments down below. I've actually been having a lot of fun. Like, I downright feel freaking inspired doing these runs with perks that I normally don't take. Because, like, Parting Gift was a treat. Like, finding out that there's another viable way to play Mizuki was really fun. And finding out that, like, that maybe bang bang pull my devil trigger is indeed an adequate strategy on Moriko. And I just feel like it kind of relies on a little bit too much. And I feel like it's a little bit, like, it's strong, but it's probably a little bit less, it's probably a little bit less strong than, like, I mean, out of Moriko build, like, here's the thing, though, it's not really a build, right? Like, the only reason I'm saying ammo stash build, deft handling build, is because the runs don't last that long. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really have the doom to level up past, like, level 5. And so, you know, you're never guaranteed to get it. You know, we had to reroll multiple times to get, like, ammo stash early. And that really did put us in a tricky spot. So I'm thinking you're, like, just doing a normal World of Horror run. You're playing Moriko. You see ammo stash? Yeah, go ahead and pick it up. I would recommend it. It's a fun perk to play with. But it's not like... I think that if you saw, like, if you got all of Moriko's perks, right? You got Deft Handling, you got Daddy's Girl, you got Ammo Stash. I'd probably recommend taking one of the other two, depending on what you need. And here's the thing, what's interesting is that with the 2 bullets that you have at the beginning of the game, if you have a relatively good first floor / level, like first mystery, first level, and you have an opportunity to take, like, you know, deft handling or daddy's girl, or, like, let's write deft handling out of it. I feel like that as long as you keep those 2 starting bullets, you can kind of use them in case you get into a sticky situation, and you can use that time to kind of, like, put off deft handling. Or you can make it to where if your first level up, because Doom is an important resource, obviously, right? So, if you have, like, let's say you level up, and you haven't used your bullets yet, and you get, like, you know, quick thinking, art knowledge, folklore studies, right? Or, like, outdoorsman or something. You know, perks that are, like, super situational. I feel like that with those 2 bullets still in your possession, you're kind of encouraged to not reroll. Because, again, Doom is a super scarce resource. You have to be very careful with how you spend it. Because, as you can see, in this run, it almost cost us. Like, thankfully, we got lucky on the monument multiple times. But basically, like, you can play, like, you get a good first floor. You get a good first level. You get bad perks. If you still have those bullets, then you can not only take a risk in the next floor and do something that will majorly benefit your run, like killing a boss early or something, right? But you can also take a bad perk and not really worry about it, because it's like, well, I don't have deft handling yet, but those bullets are going to buy me a little bit extra time. And so I think that when you brute force a perk, even though I think we got very lucky in this run, and this run did a great job of showcasing why ammo stash is good, because there were a lot of enemies that we were just like, bang. But I feel like that it's more, it's essentially, and I guess this applies to, like, getting ammo stash in the middle of the game. Like, if you go to level 2 or 3, and you still haven't seen deft handling, and your Doom's getting up there, and you're worried about it, well, you take ammo stash, you struggle through the next mystery, and then you go through the 4th or the 5th mystery relatively easily, because you have that peace of mind of, like, if you run into a tough enemy, you can just go bang, bang. And so I feel like that it's a more unexplored area of Moriko, for sure. But, I ultimately feel like, or at least it's unexplored for us, right? I feel like that it's, well, I could probably talk about this for hours, and we kind of have, to some extent. But anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. I do have to go do that thing, so yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm very interested to see the response to this one. I feel like I've honestly been scouring the World of Horror wiki to see like what perks could potentially be really fun, and I have a few ideas, but we'll talk about that another day. Thank you for watching. My name's been Webweaver. I will see you all in the next episode. All in the next episode? That I didn't say that properly. Like, my words congealed there into, like, a freaking eldritch ooze. But, anyways, have a good one. Stay safe out there.